So with a few months left before the end of 2024, I just quickly wanted to look back and share some moments I managed to record as a sort of memento for my life this year. All the conversations, what headspace I was in at the time, what feelings I was going through, moments of deep uncertainty or unfiltered joy, but always finding my way back to this stillness. What seems to have really grown throughout all this is a sense of simplicity, a quiet space that permeates every moment. Call it peace, call it God. It really has no name because it cannot be contained. But I'm continually finding myself here, through thick and thin, and simply resting in this presence. And it has made life so ordinary and extraordinary at the same time. The unique journey that I find myself in is that there seems to be two roads that are slowly meeting in the middle and becoming undifferentiated. The life of an artist and the person who can't help but question everything. There was a strong belief based off of fear that if I didn't separate these two worlds to the outside world, I wouldn't succeed. But over time, I think I've realized that that notion is a pretty funny thing. I feel as though I've passed a certain tipping point. Beliefs I had about myself, the world and its ways, I couldn't seem to hold on to them anymore. What drove me to meditate is a lot of pain and suffering. Just to be upfront, sometimes the uncomfortability of just being a person and feeling like an individual, feeling so wrapped up in my own world, feeling like no one else can understand you or know where you're coming from. I think that feeling really drove me to pursue meditation seriously for a lot of years. The fear of failure and rejection has always had a chokehold on me for as long as I can remember, whether it's through people or my craft. And however this relationship had formed throughout my life, this year I swore to live them out completely and unabashedly. No matter how many hours I've practiced visualizing and feeling out these feelings in the comfort of my mat, it would never feel as real as when they come up in real day-to-day situations. The pressures of finishing the record, the fear that what I put out won't be received well, letting down the people around me, uncertain of when the next check would arrive, feeling like I've passed the prime of my creative abilities. Process. Everything's a process. The uncertainties that we suffer through is a process. Learning how to let go and be okay with everything that we're experiencing right now is a process. Having phases with certain vices or habits that keep you in your comfort zone, and repeating them over and over, even when it feels like you'll just be like this forever is a process. It's hard to think that that will one day cease or start to dissolve or you'll start to grow out of it. That takes trust, I guess, to know that that will one day happen. That one day you will grow out and grow into a new you, while you appreciate the old you. But it does feel a little better to help me put into perspective of where I am right now and what I'm feeling, what I'm going through. And to know that it's hard to feel this right now, but to know that everything will work out. It's the most freeing thing to, like, what I like to say, die into. Because to me, dying doesn't have that context of like something to fear.
Yeah, I mean,
it's something
it comes with living.
Escape. Exactly. Yeah. It's part of birth and life and whatever. But to die into something now for me is to just completely like feel everything in your immediate experience and just like go into it. Even if it's fear, even if it's anxiety, even if it's feeling like you're the person that you hate the most, die into it. Let it be. Invite your demons in for tea. That's not something that I came up with, but it's like a Taoist saying. It's like, invite your shadows in for tea. You know, having that soft embrace, loving tenderness to like completely let go into it without any pushback.
I love that.
Yeah. So
I mean, it kind of like feels good because, you know, even with like the shoot from today, there's like those soft kind of like natural elements, but like also like you just looked at peace, you know. Even Ashley was saying that, like, you just looked peaceful.
I saw the walls I built around myself, the resistances to the things I didn't want were the very things making them come true. My training allowed me to see what my thoughts distracted me from for a long time. Like turning an eyeball back to try to see itself. Empty but compassionate. Loving but wrathful. Whatever pure awareness touched, burned and dissolved into nothingness. I practiced to stay there as many times as I could, every waking moment. When lost in thought, I would get better at catching myself and coming back to the center. Sometimes life really did get in the way, but other times there was nothing more important to me. I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to just share all this without much expectation of what's to come out of it, and purely just to share because I feel like it. And I will admit, while I'm making this, there are certain like feelings of discomfort that do come up. That feeling of me being in front of the camera and perceiving myself and subtly sort of judging that is still kind of there, but also watching people walk by while I'm also staring at this camera and talking to the mic, sitting on a public bench in a public area, and them looking at me and kind of wondering, sort of presuming what they must be thinking about me. That's still kind of there. And it's truly okay to just like give into those feelings and to let them be here wholly, fully, without any resistance to it, and then sort of watch it dissolve. So I think this is also a good exercise for me to feel out and like lean into those triggers.